We are live. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Fitness Marketing Hub. If it's your first time here, as usual, I'm late. I'm glad you guys joined us today. So today we're doing a 2-hour, somewhat deep dive into basically whether it's using your YouTube channel or whatever you're doing with your personal fitness brand and turning it into more of a digital business. I think a lot of us kind of just throw stuff at the wall and hope that it grows. And then we think once it grows, we'll turn it into something. But the fact of the matter is this starts very early on in your journey online, whether it's social media like Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, whatever it may be. So the person that's going to be joining us momentarily here is Jaclyn Phillips. Jackie is my business partner with Trainer Hub, my fitness workout channel. She's also a very sought after personal trainer. She works for the company Strong Girls, and she has a thriving online business, which it's pretty amazing what she's done. And she's utilized a little bit of the Trainer Hub channel. She's also utilized and leveraged other social media. So she's going to basically kind of lay out from start to finish how she started, where she started, how she grew it. And I think there'll be a lot of good insights for you guys today. Feel free to ask questions at any time. And then, of course, we'll take longer questions at the end as well. So without further ado, let's get Jack on here. Good day.
Good day to you, sir.
How's it going?
Me okay?
I can hear you perfect. Yep.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
All good. How's it going?
Amazing. It's great. Yeah, no, thank you for the amazing introduction too. It's been quite a whirlwind for us East Coasters, eh?
So I'll give you guys some kind of insights into Jackie and I as quickly as I possibly can. When I was working for a supplement company, I was looking for athletes to use for promotional videos and things like that. And I did not like most of who I had on my roster. So one of the people in talent relations had a list of people that they were going through. Immediately when I saw Jackie's picture, I said, she's from the East Coast of Canada. I said, I swear, because I know what we look like. And so anyway, long story short, we got Jackie in for a few shoots there. Her and I kept in touch. And when I left that company and decided to move into YouTube space, she was the first person I contacted because she represents exactly what I would like to have on YouTube as one of the trainers on my channel. And she does the majority of the workouts on there. Her workouts are very popular. And the fact of the matter is she brings to the table the full package from the design of the program. And she also understands the business side of it. She knows what needs to be said. So it's not just a good workout, or she's not just a pretty face on camera. She manages to cover all of those boxes, checks them off. And because of that, we started working together. I guess it was around.
Well, it was before COVID, right?
Yeah. Like, that was the thing is I think we started, our first shoot was December 2018.
Yeah, it was early on. And that was your original, that was like back in the original OG concept days with like zero. I mean, what it was built around was the zero music and just
yeah,
like
the whole thing was creating a raw workout, no music, no talking, just training, and we're still basically doing that. We dabble with some other things, but the whole concept was just raw training, and something that people can follow. They feel they're at a gym and without all the motivation and stuff.
Yeah, and without getting in, I don't know if you're gonna if I know if you have a game plan for this discussion, but before we get into it, like you said, effective, right? Like why they're the programs, or why people like the workouts, because they're effective.
Yeah. Right? And I mean, it's a number of things. I mean, I've talked about them on here like a lot, but the fact is we came in with something different. I mean, you were a new face. We did do kettlebell workouts. Everything was designed to be in a home. Like we were filming, whether it was in the studio loft, or wherever we're at, it was always kind of filmed. So, I mean, like, for example, if I do a sandbag workout, I'm not doing slams and throwing it across the room and stuff like that, because that's an outdoor thing. But then the no music and the raw sort of vibe of it, I've said before, half of my audience that found those videos hated it. The other half love it. And that's good enough for me, because the ones that love it, they subscribe and they stay there because they like that vibe. The ones that don't, there's lots of other channels out there. But we started, in December of 2018. on average, I think we were posting maybe about a workout every 2 weeks. I think
Mhm.
I worked it out. And
In those early days.
and we got monetized just before COVID, and then COVID happened and it blew up.
Exploded.
Yeah, and it did really well. And then we took advantage of that in as many ways as possible. And when I say exploded, guys, our channel has under 30,000 subscribers, which
Yeah.
to YouTube standards seems like that's nothing. I can assure you that we're making it work. And it's because Jackie has other things happening that she utilizes both the YouTube channel and other connections in her life to basically, funnel people into her programs.
100%.
And I do the same thing. I look for whether it's sponsorships, whether it's this channel, Fitness Marketing Hub, which was basically built off of Trainer Hub. I started talking about what I was doing. This has turned into an entire business now. So there's a lot of things you can do. You don't have to wait to be monetized by Google. We didn't. And quite honestly, even now, the Google money is not that much. It's nothing over the top. So anyway, before we get started here, Case Pilates, good. I guess it's good evening where you are. I haven't talked to you in ages. Nice to see you. Rebecca, yeah, we'll be taking questions anytime you want to ask them. Go for it. Denise, good to see you. Sue, good to see you. Amir, good to see you. And yeah, anybody that's out there, let us know who's here, where you're watching from. Would love to know. I haven't done one of these in a while, so my expectations are not high. Hopefully we'll get some people on the replays and stuff for it. So, but we will see. FYT Life, how's it going? Good to see you. Bob, good to see you again. A few people popping in.
Love it.
All right. So where's the best spot to start? So guys, we're not going to keep this exclusive just to YouTube because, in full transparency, Jack does a lot more than just YouTube. And I'll maybe just hand it off to you, Jack. So when did what you do become, because I know you were doing one-on-one personal training and group training with strong girls. When did this start to become a digital thing?
So I actually was doing no online training prior to I guess 2017. I was doing all in-person training. I started as an in-person trainer. I worked at Good Life. I did in-home stuff. So I really truly moved into the online space when I joined Team Strong Girls. Like that was when I really officially made the move. And that was at the end of 2017. Beginning of 2018 really was my first year. And that became, but I didn't really need to start because Jenny, of course, founded that. And a lot of things were funneled to me through that. So I didn't start marketing myself really until we started working together around 20. Even after that, kind of, I was still like, when we first met, I was still very much in I was being hired as a fitness model, right? Like I wasn't the business owner. I was still being hired very much as a fitness model. I was even represented by, a company at the time, a modeling agency. So I wasn't approaching it like marketing myself yet. When we first met though, and you started doing we started Trainer Hub, that is when I started getting clients directly myself, right? Like people were reaching out, seeking me out rather than me receiving clients through Team Strong Girls or Jenny. I was being sought as, and like you said, I was doing a lot of things at the time. I was going to lots of conferences. I was meeting lots of people in the space, right? I was, creating content on Instagram. To be honest with you, you say, other than that though, I wasn't online other than Instagram and YouTube. And it was then that I started realizing I can market myself and pushing my own, my own funnels.
From the YouTube side of it, the part that really intrigues me is the fact that you have never spoken a word on camera trying to physically push people to check out anything. Like, so, and that, I think it speaks volumes to the content that's on there from this side of it. I mean, I know with Strong Girls and with you and Jenny and Vince, there's a lot of work that goes into that, and you guys work hard on that. But from the YouTube side of it, it was literally everything that you got was organic.
Yep. Yep.
And I love that, because you do see a lot of people who are very much trying to utilize YouTube to grow a brand, but they kind of put the cart before the horse, or however that goes. And, they create an app, and then they start going on YouTube, and every time they go to my app, go to paid app, and they try and push people over there, or a website, or some kind of paywall. And I think people sometimes rebel from that, because they get inundated with those kind of things. And when they don't know you, all you are is just a soliciting salesman. And it's like, once they get to know you, yes, they realize this is a good program, I want to do it. But when you do that too early, I think it actually turns people off. And the fact that for anybody that has found you through the YouTube stuff, we've never like pushed it down
Never
their
pushed
throats
it.
at
No,
all,
they
which,
literally usually find me. So they find me by going to my Instagram usually, and then they go through my funnel through that. And I do think there's two reasons. And you say, like, we've never done a formal push. I've never ever, like you
Mhm.
said, I've never even talked on camera. And-
the first time was the membership stuff that we
right.
did last year. So
Exactly. So, but I think there's two things. It's like you said, the workouts are effective and they're doable for a lot of, like, they're quick, they're effective. People get what they need out of them.
yeah.
But then the second thing, I do think that if anyone is like a trainer out there, like someone starting to do this, like, I suffer in those workouts.
Yeah.
And I'm honest about it, right? Like, I don't try to like stop the sweat, the drip, right? Like, I'm honest about it. And like,
Yeah.
I breathe heavily, and I sometimes question my fitness level. But that's the realness that I think people are looking for, and like the connection,
And it's funny because it's funny now. I can speak to this a bit, because when COVID hit, we weren't able to work together for a while. So I had to jump on camera. Now, I am a certified personal trainer, but I haven't done it in years. I'm in my 40s. And, the first
Yeah.
time I did it, it's like, obviously I'm keeping the same general setup where there's no music, no talking, no nothing, to hide the fact that I'm dying on camera, because I don't do group fitness workouts. I never have.
No.
I do not like them. And I got out there, and all I was thinking is, my God, what have I done to this girl for the last 3
Right?
years?
Like, don't die, don't
But
die,
then what?
don't die. Like, do it for because like it's one big shot too, right? Like,
Yeah,
as
and
everyone
then
knows, like, that's like us really dying through the workout.
two things that happened that really surprised me, because I was very self-conscious doing this as well, because you do see those people that go on camera and they're trying to be perfect. And the first thing I said when I posted the video, like, I think it's right in the comments, is like, FYI, I said, if I'm going to barf today, you're going to see it. This is as real as it gets. And because just explained to them the situation. And
Mhm.
I started getting the same thing, organic messages on Instagram. I got personal emails that they would have had to look to find my email, of guys who are like middle-aged men who
Yeah.
they love doing sandbag training. They just started doing it from the channel, and they love the fact that I'm on camera dying with them.
Yeah.
And it's like, so it almost formed this bond between these members, and
Misery
that,
loves company. No, I'm
yeah,
kidding. No, but it's
yeah,
serious. It is. It's a connection, right? Like, you're creating a connection with that person through
yeah.
the difficulty of the workout.
And to me, however you establish that, um, is a big part of conversion of clients, because, like I said at the onset, guys, like, the Google money is great. I think there's a little bonus that kind of comes in every month, but it's not money you can live off of for even a week, I don't think. The money is going to come from having products and services available to people that are valuable to them, that they're going to want to do. And then I always use what's called like the 2% rule. You should be able to convert 2 to 4% of your audience into coaching clients. And that comes down to you basically targeting the right audience for you. If you kind of establish at the onset, this is the kind of training that I want to do, like, you should actually be planning your program ahead of time. And then you start your channel, and you build that channel around pulling people that are suitable for that program.
Yeah.
With this channel, it's a perfect example. I mean, I could be doing master the art of online coaching across the board for any genre. It doesn't have to be fitness. This channel targets fitness. And the great thing about that is that 99% of the people that find my channel, they love it because there isn't really a resource in this category that does what I do. Whereas if I just did this as more generalized stuff, number one, I'm not as good at general marketing. My background is in fitness, so I do understand the psychology of this. But then also the fact that yeah, it's very niche towards a specific audience, and you either want to be here or you don't. You're not going to subscribe to this channel unless you're a personal trainer with a YouTube channel for the most part. I can't imagine why you would. So, I mean, it always kind of comes down to that. So, and the nice thing is, if I know that the majority of my audience is personal trainers trying to build a YouTube channel, there's always those opportunities for, like, I'll do, 3-4 consultations a week. I've helped people rebuild their front page on their YouTube channels to teach them how to do thumbnails, to make little twerks here and there to help their channels grow, get monetized, and go from there, just to kind of organize things. And the great thing is that I have such an ideal subscriber list here, that I understand my subscribers here more, probably even more than I do on Trainer Hub. And I'm able to, they actually want the products and services.
I was just gonna say, offer them the things.
Yeah, and I don't have to push it really.
Yeah, because they already need it. That's exactly it. Yeah,
right. And they decide on their own. So
and I think that's exactly what happened with me organically from Trainer Hub, is that like people were getting what they wanted out of those workouts. They wanted more. They wanted to seek more, you know what I mean? So they sought me out, and they're like, oh, okay, what are the next steps? Like, how do I do this? You know what I mean? And that is obviously, in my opinion, that's how I've leveraged it. So it's like you said, and I don't know the stats on this, but it seems to me like that is a better, I mean, at least a good a second path option to have with a YouTube channel, is having that, like, I don't, like I said, I don't know the stats, but I can't imagine many people are making that much money off of YouTube itself or the platform itself. It's got to be funneled into another offer or another, like you said, another product or service.
Yeah. You got it. Unleash with Kish. I'm enjoying showing my audience the realness of starting over with your fitness journey. It's more relatable than perfect workouts. It is. I mean, you get so many different types of personalities that come onto YouTube, and a lot of people, like, again, I've said to people in the past, like, there's probably a lot more beginner to intermediate people on YouTube than experts. Experts, they have the confidence to go out to a health club, to CrossFit studio, and do their thing. A lot of them aren't doing home workouts. A lot of the people that are the people that they have anxieties about being in public doing it, whether it's their body, whether it's, just whatever. So they do seek that out online. So when you're able to have a program that's kind of progressive and stuff, and start at a beginner level, it's a great way to get them in. Additionally, people that are starting out, that are relating to you, they become a little dependent on you, which can be a good thing financially. And then, if you do your job well, you're not going to take advantage of that, but you're going to offer them products and services that will help them get the confidence that they need to be able to do this on their own.
Yeah.
And it won't matter if they eventually move on from you, because for every person that's moving on, there's 5 more.
I always say, if like I do my job properly, right? Like you should be in and out within 4 to 8 months, right? Like that's that's what ideally, if you're learning, you know what I mean? That's or at least progressing to the next stage, right? That's the whole goal.
By the way, guys, if you're just joining us here, we're basically talking about the blueprint for starting a one-on-one coaching business, whether it's something that you're building off of your YouTube platform, whether it be Instagram, whatever it is. Jackie is somebody we partnered together on the Trainer Hub channel. She's been doing personal training for a number of years, and she's kind of going over all the stuff that she does. And if you guys don't mind, if you're watching this right now and you haven't clicked the like button yet, I do not like saying this, but I'm going to, because I do know that it helps us rise in search results. So if you would take the moment for this free content to just hit like and say hello, I do appreciate it. So
we all appreciate it.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, oops, just double check there. Yeah. So you started around 2017 with Strong Girls.
Mhm.
What is the Strong Girls sort of roadmap? Because I mean, I guess it's your roadmap and theirs is kind of one and the same, right? I don't. I mean, you know this better than I do.
Yeah. So do you mean like our roadmap for me as a coach, or for like when a client comes on board?
When a client comes on board, like, do you basically look for people to join a group program and then from group to one-on-one, or do you just have both are there and you just kind of
It's
recommend what?
one-on-one. So
Okay.
our whole system is designed around giving people everything they need, like front loading them with everything they need in the first 4 to 6 months, and then put like getting them off either into our membership or leveling up to photo shoot, other things. As you know, we do have clients, many of our clients become fitness professionals
Mhm.
themselves. And that's our whole separate a whole separate offer that they have. I
Yeah.
don't get into that, but so that's it's really it's about getting them through that initial 4 to 6 months of high level one-on-one coaching with one of our coaches, right? We have several coaches now.
Hmm.
And then progressing that them, like I said, either into our membership, which is like a much lower rate, but they get to keep, all their app access and, carry on with the system. Or like I said, leveling up to more pro level, a photo shoot, whatever it is. And then, yeah, like you said, like my whole goal and, job is to get people through that, right? Like just
Yeah.
people, like get more people in. My job as head coach specifically is brand awareness, like getting more people, just to reach out to Team Strong Girls in general, right? Like get more people to know about the brand. And yeah, it's like YouTube's obviously a huge platform for that. Like I said,
Yeah.
I'm mainly on Instagram. That's where kind of I would say my funnel goes to, right? Like that's where people start my funnel. And when I
Hmm.
mean, like to get in and chat with our salesperson, Erica. Um, but yeah, YouTube, it's YouTube and Instagram for me.
Something that, and I'm sure this is by design, but something that I do see in the Strong Girls program that I don't see in a lot of programs, even with some people that I work with and stuff, is there is it becomes such a tight knit fraternity almost once somebody gets in that door that
Yeah.
I don't think they want to leave, even when they're ready to leave. Like it just seems like they're there. And then it
So
becomes because it's such a now I'm assuming this is somewhat by design.
it's the front loading, right? It's
Yeah.
that front loading of giving people everything they need and insulating their journey almost with the community and the resources, um, and abundance of support.
Mhm.
It insulates them and indoctrinates them into the way we like live and think so that they can achieve the exact same things that we achieve, which is generally what people have come to us for.
Right. Do you guys have like a sort of an average expectation of a lifespan of a client?
So it depends on the coach. I still have I don't have a lot of turnover for me personally. So I only take on probably 1 to 2 clients, new clients every couple months.
Right.
That is because a lot of my girls, like I said, do go on to become fitness professionals themselves. And in that case, they would stay on with they would stay on at an elevated like level, coaching level.
Yeah.
For our newer girls, like I said, who are taking people through that 4 to 6 month initial process, um, like I said, ideally, that is what we want to do is get them through that process. But for staying on with the membership, we have a really high retention rate. So it's about 70 to 80%. Like like for the last time I looked through them, for staying on at least in our membership. It's a very high retention rate. So
And that's
um
great because it makes your job easier if you don't have to keep replacing people. So
and that's exactly it, right? So for us, that is why also you know, and it's not me, it's not, you know, Jenny and Vince are doing this, but it's
Yeah.
why we've been able to bring on more and more coaches, because people are able to retain their clients, and there is an option for them to go into like the longer term membership, right, where they stay on. And you know, there's options from the membership to level back up to one-on-one. So it's like, you know, it's exactly that. We get them in the community, and it's the idea, like you said, isn't to, for us, it's not to like keep people where they're at. It's to keep providing them the resources to continue leveling up and keep doing like new cool things, achieving new cool goals.
Yeah.
And that's part of also the success path, is having that option, right?
Yeah.
Because otherwise there's nowhere for your you know, the people that you've brought on to go.
What is again, I'm sure sometimes you've probably run into this, but if somebody is kind of opting out, like whether it's like, let's say they're opting out and they're not seeing results, things like that, are you more liable just to kind of wipe your hands and let it go? Do you try and keep them in? I'm talking from a business perspective. And I think, guys, just to kind of go back for a second, some of these conversations are awkward because even with Jaclyn, a lot of the girls that she trains with are friends now.
I love this question.
Yeah.
Is
and it's
is
like,
that what you're asking? Like what? Because I have clients leave me and go to my best friend's coaching company. Is
Yeah.
that, yeah, like it happens. And
Yeah.
here's what I'm gonna say is like there's like, I will never, because at the end of the day, and I truly believe this, and I truly believe this is like a green huge flag for a good coach.
Mhm.
To identify a good coach, it's that someone who actually cares about the client's results and the client getting healthier and them
Yeah.
reaching their goals. So I don't care if a client has to leave me. This has never backfired on me ever in the history, and I feel like like you said, I have a very successful 6-figure business. It never backfired on me to allow a client to leave me and go seek help elsewhere, even with a competitor, or like I said, one of my two of my best friends are other coaches. And I also have coaches on my team that I've had clients leave me to go work with.
Yeah.
They're a better fit for that coach. It's a better fit for that client. Perhaps they connect on a better level. Their program works for their lifestyle better, whatever it is, as long as the client is getting the results they want. I will say, oftentimes it's rarely like the application of, if they're applying the process, they're getting results with us, right? It's that the application isn't working, right? It doesn't work for them for whatever reason.
Yeah.
That's fine, right? Let
Yeah.
the client go find what works for them.
Yeah. And I mean, at the end of the day, it's not to be taken personally.
No,
Like I've gone through this. I've owned gyms and then severed relationships with gyms and opened other gyms in the same neighborhood and watched members who I thought would come over not, and see people who I didn't think would come over that did come over, and things like that. But the thing is, you got to take the personal out of it, because sometimes it's just like you say, different personalities respond to different things. When I used to do live boot camps, we would get 40 or 50 women in these boot camps that we would do. And there was 2 coaches. There was myself and another guy. And he was much more easygoing and supportive, where I was a little bit more pushy. Not, I always would give people their due and stuff, but some people do need to be coddled less.
Yeah.
And they don't always want to hear that until they start seeing results. And then, some people don't get to the results. They're just like, get this asshole away from me. Other ones, they finally see the results and they're beyond thankful for the fact that you gave them that little extra push and believed in them, that they're capable of more than they realize.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's those self-limiting things that are in people's own heads. That is why they continue to fail. And they do these cookie cutter programs that are cookie cutter workouts, and they never get them past a certain point. And so sometimes it has to get a little bit uncomfortable.
It almost always has to get uncomfortable.
Yeah.
If you're trying to make real change, it almost guaranteed has to be uncomfortable at some point. I'll say that.
So here's a question, because I think this for a lot of the guys that are on here watching who have YouTube channels. Let's take strong girls out of the equation for a second. I mean, you've got the knowledge base that you've got. Let's say it's just YouTube and Instagram that you're using, and you've built up, nice followings on both channels, and you decided, I want to start some sort of a course that I can convert. Let's say you've had a few people inquiring about, do you do training online? What would your initial offering be? Where would you start from? This may put you on the spot a little bit, but where do you think you would start? Would it be like a monthly program that they can opt out? Would it be a 6-month thing? Like, how would you lay that out in terms of starting out? And you've never been a one-on-one online coach before.
And I've never made an offer. Is that the case?
This is your right. You just realize we just got into COVID. Your channel blew up. You've had a few people inquire about if you do one-on-one training and stuff, or if you do group training, or like I've got my own.
I have it. I can answer it right now. You're not putting me on the spot.
And I actually think that your way of doing it is the opposite of my way of doing it, because my way has always been, just to go over it, is basically separating a big group of subscribers to a smaller group of members, and then because the members, and you can start segregating from the members into a one-on-one relationship.
So I think you go at a lower entry level, right? And build up.
Right. And I think you guys do the opposite.
I do the opposite. Yeah. So I would offer, to answer your question, I would offer a 12 to 16 week transformation program, using the methods that I use to get in shape and stay in shape. I would offer a beta program. So like, this is my very first offer. I'm offering this program at a highly reduced rate as like my first group, my first cohort. Offer, like, say you're taking 5 to 10 spots, sell as many as you can, obviously. But then that's not true. I actually personally, I like to keep my group. So here's where people here's where people get messed up. Take on a couple people and get them results.
Yeah.
So that is what I would say. So I would rather take on even if I only get 3 people at that higher rate, right? I can take those 3 people and focus all my energy into getting those people the results that they need to get. And then I would feature am I allowed to swear in here? I don't know.
Yeah, you can swear.
I would feature the shit out of them everywhere. I would write multiple stories on their transformation, their progress. I would feature them along the journey, like how much progress they're making every couple of weeks. And then I would use those results to sell your second cohort, set up your okay, this was the first cohort. Like, look at the amazing results they got. Because they got such great results, obviously the rate has increased, but I'm still, you know what I mean? Still offering. So that is how you do it. Like in my experience, that is how it's done.
So, I had a question. I forgot.
Sorry.
So basically, like, what was I going to say? I had like probably 6 questions from that. My brain's going faster than my. Okay, where do we start? So you would set something as like a group program. So basically, I'm taking 10 people for a program that starts July 1st and it's going to run till August 15th. Is that kind of how you would do it? So it's not something that sits there and anybody can sign up at any time.
Not evergreen. No, you got to create an urgency and make sure there's only a certain date. You also want people to start at a certain date. It goes all hand in hand. It's not just like sales, right? And marketing. It's actually making it work for yourself too. So I would sell it as a little bit of a group, but still offer customized service, just a cohort. You're starting your first cohort, or the program starts on this date, right? But everything is still customized. I personally feel, it doesn't have to be that way. You can offer, it depends on the price range and all that stuff as to what you're like, you know what I mean? What they're getting out of it. But definitely starting on a certain date helps create like the urgency, and also allows you to organize yourself better to provide a good service.
Does it also help with time commitments, like doing group chats versus one-on-one stuff? And
So I personally feel, and this is where we're really lucky, we've been at this a long time and we have a lot of resources to manage it. We can offer all of it. Like we have one-on-one calls, we have in FaceTime calls, we have Zoom calls, we have group chats, we have, so but I personally, obviously a group program for your very first launch is going to be a huge time saver.
Yeah.
If you want, like, it's not as customized. So it's like, it's still like, but it's a good first offer.
Yeah.
I guess it's a good first offer.
Is your program more of a like, here's your program for the gym for weeks 1 through 3, for example, and here's the nutrition element to it? Or is this something where you're sending them to videos online and things like that?
So again, all of it. So we have our app, we have a private app.
Okay.
So our clients get a custom app on there that literally tells them everything like they could ever need to know, from like when they wake up in the morning, what they should eat to like move, how they do their stretches, and it's all video based. It also connects to like their Apple Watch and or Fitbit and or whatever technology they wear on their wrists.
Mhm.
So that's all very, very customized on our end. Even for our group programming though, it's like there's a couple ways again, it all comes down to what kind of offer you're making, because there's a lot of great group programs that are just email based,
Yeah.
right? You don't need an app. As long as you're providing, if they're providing the workouts, I will say this again as an online coach, you want to be I personally, I don't know if I'm getting too aggressive with this, but I personally feel for a good program, you want to have some sort of give and take. So I don't just want my clients to see me working out and see how I work out.
Right.
I want to see how they work out. So setting up some sort of way that they can submit videos, or setting up a group call even, right? And going through form on a group call.
Mhm.
Can be helpful. It depends on your offer though. Again, like there's a lot of like lower, lower rate or price programs that don't offer that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's up it's up to you. It's up to the coach too, what they're looking for.
Yeah. For the nutrition elements, how deep do you guys get into that? Do you outsource that? Is there somebody who does nutrition on site?
So yeah, so all of our coaches are nutrition certified. We have 3 actual nutritionists, 1 dietitian, and then all of our girls are PN certified. So a
Okay.
PN nutrition coach. So we're certified to provide, like macro breakdowns, general recommendations, and that is our approach. Our approach is to provide general guidelines
Mhm.
to nutrition, rather than telling people exactly what to eat forever, because
Right.
that's our whole philosophy, right? Is taking what you already eat
Mhm.
and helping. That's literally our intake process. So we ask anyone coming on board, what do you like to eat? And then we go back and tell them how much of that stuff they should and can have according to their goals.
Okay.
And like how that's delivered is also up to the client. So, and this is lots of options for anyone listening here. Again, you can provide them macro breakdowns. You can provide them a nutrition app. There's lots of nutrition apps out there that you can, you know what I mean, send
Mhm.
people diet or meal plans, general recommendations. You can give them a simple, like, did I already say macro breakdowns? Just simple
Mhm.
numbers. You can give them meal plans, like, so general, actual foods listed out. Um, I I personally think it should be entirely dependent on the client and what they need, and that's why
Yeah.
our coaching is a little bit higher level and priced higher.
Yeah.
But again, there's lots of less intense options for nutrition coaching, and lots of apps out there. I don't know if you care if I'm not plugging anything. I don't
No,
use an
plug
app.
away.
But I'm not plugging anything at all. There's literally tons of apps out there
Yeah.
though to provide nutrition coaching and like that kind of thing. Just be certified, like go at least understand what you're talking about.
Yeah. I, I think, yeah, I always tell people too, like, if you're weak in a certain area, like collaborate with somebody. Like there's
Yeah.
lots of people out there who do, diet and nutrition content where you could go to them and say, like, I'd like to start a program for people in my YouTube channel. I'd like to offer nutrition element. What would you charge to do maybe a base program? And then I can also, for anybody who wants more specific stuff, can basically funnel them towards you for a direct consultation or something like that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that would go for that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. And even having like it depends again on your program, right? Like maybe you don't have a nutrition element. Like it does,
mhm.
do you know what I mean? Like there's tons of ways to approach this, especially if you're coming from YouTube or
Yeah.
any social platform, right? Like there's how you position this program is like there's millions of ways.
Do you have sort of a like an age range in terms of an avatar? Like, are you guys targeting middle-aged moms, or are you targeting 55 plus males, or you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, no, so for us, it's really, I mean, I say us because we now, like I said, we have a huge team of coaches,
mhm,
and actually each of them have their own avatar, right? Like it's each of us have our own kind of focus.
yeah,
I would say like, yeah, probably Coach Tiana, for example, she would have, she would be focusing on more moms, right? I don't have kids, so I get a lot of women who are like specifically have been training for a long, my avatar is women who have been training for a long time and haven't been or eating healthy and not seeing the results that they
yeah.
want.
Okay.
That's specifically my avatar. So that can be anywhere from someone, generally 29 is my lowest, 29, 30, but up to 60 for
Okay.
me.
Yeah. Like, so just to revert back, guys, too, because I do want to give you almost like a bit of a blueprint on what to do. Obviously, with what Jackie does, it is a bit more of a broad program with multiple people involved in things like that. That's not to say you can't do your own version of this where you're at right now. You know, when I talk about this particular channel, I started, um, I had my first one-on-one client for a YouTube channel at 123 subscribers. And then it just started rolling in from there, from consultations to things like that. I still remember to this day getting a comment one time on my channel. It was a channel about how to grow your YouTube, or it was a video about how to grow your YouTube channel. And the channel at the time only had a couple hundred subscribers. And somebody commented, "Do you even follow your own advice?" At that time, the month before that guy left that comment, I had made, I think, $3,500 off that channel of 200 subscribers. So it just goes to show that people are looking at the optics too much. So if you've got a good program, if you're producing some nice workouts, you're very focused in on kind of who you're targeting, like whether it's, beginner to intermediate women who like to train in the morning and they've only got 20 minutes and they like to train with a kettlebell or whatever it may be. You can start right now. And like Jackie said, you can, if you're not strong in the nutrition category, find somebody who is. Find somebody who will write you a kind of generic program for anybody between the ages of 20 and 40 and what have you. Even if you have to pay out for it, you just work that back in to what you're going to charge. And if it's something that's going to take, it's a 12-week or 16-week program, you could break it down so people pay by the month. Things like that to get started, because that is the one thing with YouTube that you don't know who you're dealing with half the time. I mean, they're on there looking for free videos, so we don't know if they're, what they have in their pocket to spend on this kind of stuff. I think personally, I underestimate it, because I've had some people that did have money in their pockets, surprisingly. But yeah, so you put together a program, you find a way that it works within your lifestyle. And then to me, it's a matter of building perceived value. And by that, I don't mean bullshit. I mean, actually perceived value in the form of, okay, maybe it's a weekly check-in. And Jackie, you can jump in any particulars here because you know better than me, but a weekly check-in with you. Because I think a lot of the times people that transfer from maybe a general YouTube subscriber to a one-on-one coach, they're looking for guidance. they're looking for more motivation, and they're looking for special treatment.
Yeah, just straight up, I would say the very first thing you can do to provide perceived value, even if, and I know a lot of coaches that do this, even if you don't look at it, send intake forms.
Mhm.
Even if you're sending them a generic form, a generic program, and they know they're buying a generic program, right?
Mhm.
Sending them an intake form, collecting their information. That's number one. And then once you send them the program, however you deliver that program, again, another area you can add perceived value. Obviously actual value, but you can really bump that up with a lot of other content, right?
Yeah.
So what they actually receive from you is sufficient and significant. And then like you said, then worry about checking in with them, right? Then
Mhm.
in a week, 2 weeks, we always give 2 weeks to allow enough time to actually make progress, right? And then by that 2 weeks, if they have followed the program and you have made an effective program, you will have results to share immediately.
Yeah.
So that would be my that's my
Yeah, and that's a big part of it. I think that maybe sometimes people forget is that it is in your best interest that this program works for people, because that person, not only do they become your billboard, they also be people who lose weight and get in shape. They talk about that online on their social platforms, and they will tag you and tag you and tag you
Yes.
until you're blue in the face. But every time that happens, all of a sudden 3 new subscribers or 3 new followers,
Yeah.
and they're paying attention. That, like, that's how it works, and that's how it grows. So you definitely want people to succeed. So you don't want to give it a half-ass effort to make a quick buck.
And you don't want people who aren't going to do it, right? Because then you
Yeah.
have more people who have purchased, your program and aren't being successful with it. So just because you're making a sale isn't necessarily a good thing if you're continually like you need to, you know what I mean? Especially if you're in those first few months of launching a program,
Yeah.
you are better off making sure the people who hire you get results. You absolutely need them to get results in order for you to make this a career long term. If you want to be doing it this time next year.
Yeah, because it is, and this works in anything. Like I work with contractors and people like that who will, you know, they'll meet up for an after shoot and walk around and talk about what a great job they did on somebody's house. And it's like, I kind of want to hear what the owner of the house has to say, because that's the person that actually paid for the services. And it's
Yeah.
like, it's not to say that it's good that you're happy with your work, but I want them to be happy with my work.
100%. Yeah.
And that's why I like, even over the last couple of months, you too, we've neglected our YouTube channel. And I've had people make comments. I've had people join our membership and say, why are there no videos?
That's horrible. I know.
But it's again, like and as a cool side story, like the YouTube stuff and the freedom of doing this has allowed me to pursue other creative opportunities that I wouldn't otherwise be able to do if it wasn't for what we've built.
I was just going to say, when you ask, like, when you get to a point where like you literally are so busy with like what you had originally intended it to do, you can't actually do the thing anymore, right?
And
it's
that's
not a
actually,
horrible thing.
You just reminded me of something from a few minutes ago. That's actually a good cautionary tale. It's a good problem to have. But when I started this channel and it started to grow, I did not realize how quickly it would grow. And when I got to the point of having almost 40 coaching clients for YouTube channels, and that you're talking about 40 monthly calls and like 40 people each texting you 5 times a day, and like a lot of things like that happened once, and it grew faster than I expected. I didn't have a website in place. I just kind of started piecing things together because it was almost like a little bit of an experiment. Then all of a sudden that channel's making more than my fitness channel is. And it's like, oh crap, there's an actual business here.
Yeah.
And what I had built, I knew that it's like, this is going to implode at some point because I can't keep up with it.
Yeah.
And that's when I started to backtrack and realize that this is a great opportunity, but there are better ways to do it. So that's why it is important to really take your time on the initial build and make sure that it's something that you can you know, whether you're
Sustain that like
sustain.
first
Yeah.
that first launch. You're so right. That's so right. Like you gotta like spend time making that like 12 to 16 week, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
Like make sure it's like it works for you. That's why I said
Yeah.
that back then, right? Like you want to make sure, like people always say this, oh, I'm gonna be able to check in, I'm gonna give them tech support, I'm gonna get them all this stuff. Well, wait until you sign your 100th client. And
Exactly.
you're now like texting. You can't do it. You got to set up that program like it's going to
Yeah.
explode.
Don't wait until you get busy to get organized. Like take it from somebody who did that. And I still do that, but yeah. Unleash with Kish, I've just been binge watching till you upload again. Is that this channel or the other one? Because I haven't been very good with both either. But yeah, I mean, and that's, I mean, again, another thing that I credit Jackie for too with the Trainer Hub channel is when we abandoned it for 3 or 4 months, which we've pretty much done, it doesn't slow down that much. And we have not lost. We continue to get 6, 7 new subscribers daily on a bad day. So it still continues to grow, and I think that's a testament just to the programming that's on there. And I mean for us too, like I love the fact that I'm pretty sure it averaged out to 1 workout every 2 weeks that we were uploading until we got monetized. So it wasn't like 3, 4 workouts a week. It's not 12-week programs. It was just basically really, you know, each workout is a standalone. And this actually is something that a lot of people who work, like engineers for YouTube, say this is now the way to do it. It's not, and I don't know if I totally agree with it, but it did work for us. It doesn't have to be episodic.
No,
Like,
no. People want to click around. Like
yeah,
I think that's what people like about ours. And the people who come to me, I have a hard time getting them to stop doing this once they start with me, is that
yeah,
they'll, oh, I tagged on that workout as like, you know, a finisher. I tagged on this like this little thing as like
yeah,
because that's the way it's like. It's really great to just be like, oh, I want to do this kind of workout today. I want to pick this kind of workout.
yeah. And I think too that to an extent, I mean, again, you've got a whole other backdrop as well, but just looking at that channel, putting out good quality workouts, just kind of like casting reels like that to bring people in, that's great. And then your membership structure or your one-on-one structure is actually giving them for a fee a more structured long-term plan, not just a day-to-day, here's a new workout to try. Because that's what people on our channel do. I know that I have people with the sandbag workouts, they just randomly pick whichever one they feel like, which is great. They're moving, they're active and things like that. But if I were to eventually come out with a more long form weekly episodic live sandbag workouts or something like that, a lot of these guys would probably love that. So that's the thing too. You don't want to give away too much on your channel that you can't sell later. You know what I mean? Like it's got to be something where you kind of hold a little bit back, and then be able to actually offer that more one-to-one communication and attention.
And I do think that does come from your one-on-one like your attention. So that is what it is. Like that's what when someone hires me, they're gaining more access to me. And that's like really what it is. So in my opinion, that's why I don't hold back on, you say hold back a little bit, like obviously in terms of your time and attention, right? But with the workouts, like I don't care if they're my best workouts or if I give everyone, if someone can go to our channel and create a really killer like workout program from the workouts, right?
Yeah.
So, but the fact that it's when they find you to purchase you like your service or product later, right? It's that they're whatever that they're purchasing takes the content that you're giving them a step further. So just be mindful, like you said, you can hold back, don't hold back, but be mindful that whatever you're offering, whatever they're going to buy from you down the road has to be the next step or the next level.
And when I say hold back too, I'm not referring to quality of content whatsoever. It's just a matter of structure, because again, a perfect story to tell. A client that I was working with, he probably within the last 10 years had gone out and produced several workouts that were going to be DVD workouts. This is before DVDs kind of collapsed.
Yes.
And this person, I guess, a former partner, like relationship that he was in, she had paid for the workouts. So he didn't want to give these workouts away. He wanted to sell them. So what he was doing was he was putting fairly poor quality, like good workouts, but very poor quality Zoom content on YouTube and trying to basically push them into buying access, digital access to these really well done workouts. That is and I told him it was the complete opposite of what he should be doing, because these workouts are very stylish, sleek, professional cameras, proper audio and lighting, everything. Put that out on your front lines, because once somebody crosses over and wants to buy into work with you, these Zoom workouts, you can just do it as a live Zoom workout, and they're getting that live access to you to work together. They're not, once they cross over, they're not looking so much at the quality as they are the relationship.
100%. 100%.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, you can put your best stuff out front, but then you can offer the structure. You and I, and again, transparency, you and I have talked about even creating some kind of downloadable content for people that maybe they want more structure with your kettlebell workouts. So maybe we do like some sort of a $5-10 document or something that they can download, and it tells them which workouts to do on which days. Like we could give that away. We could do that for $2. We could, whatever. There's different ways to incorporate that using existing content. But yeah, it's just really trying to find ways that you're giving top quality stuff that's going to get attention, but you're also holding back a little bit more from the personal stuff. Like, I'm sure in some ways, one of the interesting things with you is that there's almost no way to gauge your personality from our channel. They almost have to just to even talk to you. And it's like, again, that wasn't by design, but potentially that could be a thing where people strike up a conversation because they've never heard you speak a word, and they want to say how much they like your workouts. And the second they say that, that's a lead for you.
100%. Yeah. And that is how it happens all the time, right? Like, it's like just going back to what you said, it's the content that you're putting out. It doesn't have to be like this orderly, you know, like episodic, you know, methodical thing. It can just be like the content that the people you're trying to get into your, you know, into your community, the content that they're looking for.
The problem with a lot of people starting out is that they basically look at certain people, like who are the hugely successful people on YouTube. I'm just going to do what they do. They put out 3 workouts a week. And they basically try and emulate it, and they become kind of like a watered down Fisher Price version of that channel at best.
Yeah.
And the thing is too, is that those people at that time, they can experiment a lot more. Number one, because the person presenting the workouts becomes the search term. Like somebody who's looking for the newest Heather Robertson workout, they're probably searching for Heather Robertson. They're not necessarily searching for kettlebell workout, you know?
100%.
So you become like especially at first, when you're starting out, you're more of a supporting actor, and your channel is kind of the highlight. And as time goes by and you get, you know, very popular, then you become the search term, and your content becomes secondary. So you can start experimenting with new things. And at that point too, some of these people have so much money coming in that they've got people handling their social, they've got people editing, they've got people shooting for them. They can pound out 3 or 4 of these a day or something.
Yeah.
Whereas you may be working full time in a gym, you may have children, you may have a life, and you're trying to kind of squeeze these in. That's why it's important to design a business that you can withstand now, and then grow that business. Like if you're a personal trainer at a gym and you're growing this YouTube thing, then you basically have to take whatever time you've got and use that to grow. As your YouTube thing starts to grow and your online one-on-one coaching starts to grow, maybe you scale back your hours to the gym and you kind of transition over, and instead of trying to crowbar a full-time online digital creator position into an already fairly busy lifestyle. And I think that's the things that, you know, that's a big reason why we haven't posted anything in 3 or 4 months, is that, like, I know you're busy. I know you've got a ton of one-on-one clients. You know, and I just finished doing a movie thing. And like, so there's a lot of stuff that's going on, and just trying to kind of balance it. It's like, and the good thing is that I'm at a point now too, where I'm excited to get back at it. Cause I think the little hiatus probably helped, because we've been going fairly steady for whatever, 3 or 4 years. So
a long time actually.
Yeah. Like I had a client the other day that she was ready to quit. She's like burnt out. And I said, why don't you just take the summer off or
Yeah.
post one video a month this summer? And that's not going to hurt. Like just do it that way. And I said, I guarantee you, you're going to come back in the fall raring to go.
Yeah.
I said, you just need a break. You don't need to quit. So, but yeah,
Most of us, if we
yeah.
just took breaks, would be able to sustain a lot more.
So how do you, and I'm going to ask this more to you than to the Strong Girls program, because obviously the Strong Girls program also has more overhead. How would you price like a 12-week program?
It depends on what's included. Yeah, like
okay. Do you want me to give you a scenario?
yeah.
I'm just because again, I'm trying to think from a more beginner to intermediate channel person out here that maybe does some TikToking as well. So let's say it's going to be a written program that's done specifically. Okay, it's a group program. Okay, and let's say the goal is to get 10 people to join. It consists of a nutrition element, that like a guideline they can follow, a program that they can do at the gym, maybe three workouts a week. Actually, no, 2 workouts a week plus 1 live stream, and let's say a weekly group chat. And keep in mind this person, they already do 2 workouts a week. So that's not really extra work for them.
Okay, so you want I don't know if I'm going to answer this the way you want me to answer it. I always believe in giving someone and pricing it as high as you can. So if that was me, you said 12 weeks?
Yeah, or 8 weeks or
I wouldn't go lower than like $4.99. I wouldn't.
Total?
That's total.
Okay. Would you allow people to pay monthly or would you get them to commit?
Obvious, I would give a discount for committing for the full. Because you're going to get them better results if they commit for the full time. You want people to stay on. You want people to complete the program.
Mm-hmm.
People who I will always argue this in fitness. If you're trying to create an actual community and sustainable group of clients, you need to give them results.
Yeah.
If they are not committed, aka they're if I always find price and I've been at this a while, price directly relates to someone's commitment. Not all the time,
Mm-hmm.
but a lot of the time. And the higher financial investment, the higher commitment.
Right. So, would you have some sort of a plan at the conclusion of this to try and keep them involved with you?
Yeah.
What would that be?
So get them on to a membership, I guess would be the plan. Or if they want, given that it was a group offering, you could offer exclusive one-on-one coaching with you at a higher rate, but a discounted rate because they went through the group offer. So that would be the one of two ways to keep people on board. And that is obviously, in my opinion, the best thing to do is to keep people give people something of value to stay on with you, give people what they need, which is continued training. So meaning you have to actually be a good trainer and coach to know how to create programs that progress and periodization and all that fun stuff. But you have those 2 offers. So membership in order to carry on. Hey, that was great. You had success with that. You want to keep going on your own. Here's our membership level at a much reduced rate. Alternatively, we have a level up option to come on with me at a more elite level. I'll guide you through, you'll get more one-on-one time with me. We'll have weekly FaceTime calls, whatever you want to offer. And then that should be at a premium. So that would have to be priced higher, much higher than your group offer.
Okay. And if you get kind of a cool response to a higher one-on-one thing, would you try and push them? I think of different things sign someone else up for the program and I'll give you for being a second time going through the group program, I'll give you a discount on it or something. Like, do you do anything like that? Or do you think that undercuts the value of the program?
So going through, no one, in my opinion, you shouldn't have to go through the group program again, right?
Yeah.
If they've done the group program, there should be no reason to go to the group program. If the group program didn't work for them, they obviously need something different. That would
Yeah.
be my answer, and I would recommend they go to a more individualized, more one-on-one style program.
How do you get around that? Like, if somebody feels like the group program didn't see a lot of results and they're still talking to you, how do you try and upsell them if the perception is that your group program has failed them?
Yeah,
Would-
so it's not, because I mean, ideally, I know in my program I would have had results from many other people in the program. And so
Right.
it's easy for them to see that it's not working for them for whatever reason. And so it's not an upsell. It's a direct call out of what they need
Mhm.
by being like, you know what I mean? You see what they're struggling with, you identify what they're struggling with,
Yeah.
you solve what they're struggling with. Almost all the time that requires more one-on-one attention. So
Right.
it's not an upsell, it's identifying a problem for them and providing what they need.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's often like, and that's why though it is important to find the people that want, do you know what I'm saying? That
Yeah.
like it's I know I can speak this way to them because I know what they want.
Well, I think one of the most important things with all this kind of stuff is understanding how to read people that you're talking to and read a room, and certain people. Whether it's my sales background or what, but like I feel I'm pretty good at knowing what somebody wants or needs to hear at any given time, and I pay a lot of attention to that, to vibes that people give me, because, like you said, like there are people that I can talk to, whether it's well, let's say referring to their channel, I could say, listen, this isn't working because you're not doing what I say, and I know you think you are, but you are not, and this is why. And until you stop doing this, you will not grow.
Yeah.
And I cannot help you.
Yeah.
And I can say it just like that to certain people. And it's never meant to hurt somebody's feelings, but sometimes you have to be that forceful. Whereas with other people, you have to be a little bit more hand holding and say, listen, I know you're working hard, but
Yeah.
and you have to kind of,
it's the same message regardless of how it's being delivered. For me, like it's 100%. Like, of course I adjust my tone depending on who I'm talking with.
yeah.
But
And
it's the same message either way. It's like, I understand. And it's often like, listen, I know you're trying, like, this is your thing. It's just not, this approach might not be working for you. And if it comes down to even me, right? If it's like, hey, like, is it my coaching? And I've gone through this. Like, it's like, am I not like communicating the way you need or communicating the way you like? No, that's fine. Okay, let's find something that does work for you. And that's where it's like, okay, what do you need to achieve what you want to achieve? And that's when it just becomes honestly about problem solving. And if you are not the person to solve that problem, that's okay. Stop trying to solve it. Put it down. Go back to the people you can help, right? Like, go back to the people you can help. And if you're struggling with actually getting, I think this is a big thing, like, because a lot of coaches will, like, you have to, I keep coming back to this. You have to provide your clients results. If you are not, you have to go back and say, like, if time and time again, people aren't falling off or you're not getting people to successfully complete the program, that is on you. And I don't mean like that, like at a certain point, like that's on you in some way. You need to go back to the drawing board and figuring out why people are falling off or what's not working, what people aren't liking about it. Like, find out why. Like, it often does come down to the pricing. Like, maybe you need to increase it.
Yeah, like I think every time it comes down to you, because either your program's not working or you're pulling in the wrong crowd for your program.
100%.
Either way, it's on you because it's your business.
100%.
Yeah. So, I mean, and that's the thing. And you are going to get people that are going to come in and they're going to, a lot of times, people that have issues with their health and with weight and stuff, I dare say 8, 9 times out of 10, it is somebody else's fault. I got it when I was pregnant. It was when I got married. That's what men will always say. I started gaining weight. It's my wife's cooking. It's like there's a million and one excuses, but rarely is it yours. And so that's the thing, is you're going to run into that.
Yeah.
And those people cannot be helped a lot of the time. It's very difficult. And then it comes down to, okay, is this person, with the amount of salesmanship that has to go into pulling them in and keeping them in, is this worth $499 for 12
It's not
weeks?
the person you want. No.
Right.
Yeah.
As opposed to somebody who is highly motivated, somewhat experienced in that. And say, I'm not putting down anybody that gets up and they're trying to move to better their health. I think is fantastic. And I do want to work with those people, but there is a business here too. And on this channel, we talk about the business side of it. It's not the emotional side of it. And being able to pull in the people that are easiest for your program, and they synergize together and they work well with what you offer. That is going to be easiest for you. That's going to produce the best results, which you can turn into your own marketing. And when you think about it, again, okay, it's $499, only 10 spots available. Let's say you only get 6. That's $3,000. And let's say you paid out, I don't know, $700 to somebody to build you a kick-ass nutrition program because you're not a nutritionist. And then aside from that, all you have to do is build a 12-week weight training program for people that go to the gym, keep producing your workouts, but have them kind of working around this program, or use your current workouts. And here's what I want you to do if you're using just the YouTube channel. And then you put together, maybe you do a weekly weigh-in, you do a weekly live stream, you do a weekly check-in, which is not too difficult to do. And you've made you made like $2,300 your first time around. You have 6 successful people that have lost weight. The next time, you've already got your nutrition program paid for, and you get 10 people, and now you're making $5,000 for a 12-week program.
Yeah. And then you can offer, if it's your first offer, you might not have somewhere to put the people who have gone through the first thing, but keep them on like your mailing list or your contact list, however you do that. And then when you do offer the next thing, that's when you can go back to them. But then, use the results that you get. I can't stress this enough, like share your results. Like you have to share the results. You can't say, oh, I get clients' results. No, you have to share the client's results, and even better, get their testimonial.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, guys, we're coming to the end of the line here, I think. If any of you guys have any questions, if it's pertaining directly to your own situations or setups, fire away. If you're just joining us and you haven't already, please do click that like button for us. It does help this stuff rise in search results. I do hate to ask, but I'm going to ask.
You should stop hating to ask. Please like us.
Because I hear other channels doing that all the time. And it's like, again, I want this to be a resource for people, but it does help. It does help get, help things kind of rise in search results, and all that. So, but yeah, I really want to, I'm glad you came on, because I wanted to get that perspective from a trainer. And as I said, like it's kind of 2 perspectives with you, because it is, your own personal training experiences. And then it's also the Strong Girls program. If any of you guys want to look up the Strong Girls program, I'm sure if you just Google Strong Girls, is it .com?
It's teamstronggirls.com. Yeah, that's our major group. But if you hit me up, obviously. I'm just kidding. We have a huge team of coaches, all ranging from all experiences to, or all like we're all qualified. But lots of different backgrounds, and there's a coach for you. But you can also hit me up on Instagram.
What are you, JACQ or JAQ?
No, JAQIOH. I really got to change that. It's a hard one. It's Jackie O, JAQIOH
on
and
IG.
That's where to hit me up. That's like where I'm most active.
On IG, not Pawn IG.
Yeah.
And Jackie's contact info will be in the description as well. I'll add it in there. And you can also see Jackie's workouts on the Trainer Hub YouTube channel, where we work together. And you got to let me know when you're back in town.
I know. I'm coming back. We're coming back.
Do you know what? I have one in the holster right now. I haven't put up yet, which is the kettlebell yoga workout.
Oh, the big one. This is a new one. I love that. Oh yeah.
So we'll have to try that at some point. It wasn't by any other reason. I didn't figure. It's almost just a as is thing. Like there's no real editing that needs to be done in that.
Yeah. Weird AF, that one, but let's check her out. This is
Yeah.
it, guys. The content. Throw her out and see what works.
I did post a few shorts and stuff this year, but I'm not feeling the shorts.
No, we're not feeling it.
They make no money. They don't, I mean, there's a few subscribers that have come in that, but I don't really, I don't know. It's not, I'm not feeling it on there.
Back to the OG grind this summer. Back to the OG grind.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, I love it.
I'm gone the last 2 weeks of July. I'm heading to God's country.
It'll have to be August.
Yeah, unless you're in St. John, and then we can do something on the beach or something.
I will be in the last week. Well, the very last week, but we'll connect for sure this summer.
For sure.
Thanks for having me.
No problem.
Really
Thank you so much, Jackie.
So much, Regan. Appreciate it.
We will talk very soon. And yeah, guys, if you have no questions, we will wrap it up there. And I hope you guys have a great week. And we will be back next week. There is going to be more content coming up in the coming weeks because I'm kind of getting slightly back on track now and organized. So you guys have a great week. Have a great weekend. And I will talk to you very soon. Take care.